Welcome all to be here with me. We're gonna be together, I think, like for an hour. I have been requests to do lives and answer questions, and at the same time, talk a little bit about what's going on around the world. And I will wait a few minutes for many of you to come. I didn't set the time because I had few things going on in my home, but welcome all of you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Hello everyone. How you have been feeling? The energy has been very intense. Please prepare your questions. I would like first to hold on. Just invoke everyone who it's meant to be here because their guides lead them into this transmission. You don't have to be here the whole time. I think I'm gonna be here like for an hour. I know you guys may have your own things. You can go in and out if you would like to, but I would like to do a transmission to help you guys a little bit if you are needing healing or a transmission to be more recharged or in our emotions. There are a lot of things happening going on, and there are a few insights that I would like to share with all of you. Even though I'm not doing light language, my energy is healing. I'm always given. This is the way that I am. That's why sometimes I need to be by myself so I can recharge. So I will do a little bit of light language and a transmission, but at the same time, I would like to talk a little bit about what I am seeing in the sessions and with my friends and even for myself. I had a dream a few weeks ago, and then I saw myself and I was inside of a construction park. It was like a big construction site, and I could see tubes from where my consciousness was traveling, and then I saw a lot of engineers, of construction men building new stuff, but at the same time they were taking off. It looks like a building that it was very old and dusty, and it was kind of like ugly then. So when I ended there, I remember that they assist me to change my direction and then go back so I could wake up. What does that mean? That means that the old structures, the old grids that we all built in previous lives and our ancestors and in other times, they carry a heavy imprint that no longer resonate anymore. Like for example, my grandmother, she was from the 1900s, and she said that when the women had their first period, they were meant to marry even though if they had 9, 11, 30 or 14 years old, because it was the only thing that it was used to do. So in her case, she rejected to marry, and when she was 29, she was forced to marry someone because it was what society would dictate, that she could not be alone. She must have husband and kids. So it was her traditions and customs for just 100 years ago. Now imagine all the traditions that were from medieval times, and when people was barbarian and Vikings and all the wars that happened from eons and eons ago, all the killing and pandemic and all those things that happened in history before, that we all know probably a little bit, and many other things that we are not aware of, but they are seated on Gaia, that happens in parallel timelines. Like for example, in one timeline, England never conquered US. It was the Chinese. In another it was France, in another it was Spain, in another they were never conquered by anyone from the from Europe, let's say. So there are a lot of stories that we are not aware of, but they are still vibrating in the same field that we all are. Yes, that's why when you do past life, or when something shared things that happened in Atlantis or in Lemuria or in any time, it has certain truth, but it's not the, how do I say that in English? It's not a complete truth, because we're all a fragment of the soul having an experience as humans. We're not the whole soul. There are parts of us that are currently being seated in parallel timelines and realities in this plane and in many others, as angels, as elementals, as angelic, as aliens perhaps. And of course, we see life as linear because it's easy for us to digest, but everything is happening at the same moment. It's just time actually does not exist, but it just happens on spirals. So we're here because this is where our consciousness is being focused, having an experience. And every day we download the programs where it says that I'm Gretel, that I'm an artist, that I do light language, that I have 2 kids, etc., etc. And each of you download your own consciousness through the memory that we have accumulated from this life. But sometimes we're not aware about the other things that we are creating. And what's beautiful about this, it is that, for example, the other day, I saw myself as a nanny from rich kids in China. And another time, I saw myself that I was a judge in court in ancient Greece when we used to have a debate. So there are a lot of aspects of me that are hidden from my consciousness and from each of you as well. Higher and lower and in between. That's why stuff appears in our field out of the blue sometimes without even having understanding. And I don't think we are meant to understand. We are just meant to not take life that intensively, and at the same time go with the flow beyond our desire to ascend and our desire to go to new earth and all those desires that we have. Perhaps some one of you would like to meet your twin flame, have a new home, move, be more healthier, etc., etc. I think the main goal from all of us right now, it is to adjust to this new coding that Gaia it's been building for all of us, to have a different experience. And the struggle comes because we would like to keep doing the same old ways that sometimes does not apply anymore. Like, for example, my kids don't go to school, they have school at home, so that is a new activity that I have. I don't go to work in any place. I work from home and then I meet all of you. So things changed for me in a way that I never expected. I never expected or decided that I will be doing light language or drawing or all those things. Those things just came out of the blue for me. And then I had to adjust and then work with them. And now that I am in this unknown aspect of me that it was unknown for perhaps 10 years ago, I love it. It's like a better suited reality that I could ever picture in my mind that it could be possible for me. So this is what's happening for all of us. We are in a dark night of the soul, and actually I think we'll have many dark night of the soul. But it's not of the soul, it is because we are building this new version of us that we don't know yet how it's gonna be, but it's going to be a better reality. I hope this makes sense. And go with your own flow if you exactly don't understand what I'm talking, because I think I have guides coming through. That's why I'm sharing about all this stuff. So there are parts of us that are coming in that are bringing gifts for us. Like, for example, I started drawing just because I wanted to understand the things that I was seeing. But at the same time, I was seeing beings because in other lives I was a medium before. So that part of myself come and merge with me in such a way made sure I get active. And then I could do healing. And now I'm writing about Kundalini for some project that I have next year, and Kundalini raising and sacred womb and all that. And I have never searched about it on Google or no. It's just because an aspect of me from another time has that expertise, and it's coming through so it could assist me, but also I can share with all of you perhaps in a course, and then we can all benefit. Let's express this a little bit. So all those new parts of us are coming into this present moment. So they are reconfiguring our life in many aspects. There's a lot of people that are doing light language that had not even understand what they are doing. Sometimes you feel afraid about those aspects of you because it's an unknown part of you that you didn't even know you had. Like, for example, for me, I always thought I was weak. And then one day, I remember a few years ago, something happened to me and I had to do something very brave. And then I was talking to my mom, and then I said, I always have been that weak that I didn't know I could ever done that. And then my mom says, no, you're not weak. You are very strong. You did this and that. And then when you were 5, did this. And then when you were 15, did this. And then my perception thought that I was weak. But then I realized my perception was distorted. I was strong. So my consciousness reconfigured with strong aspects of me from other times and other perceptions, so I could source myself and perceive myself into a new pattern of light. And now when I think about me, I said, oh my God, Gretel, I can't believe all the things you do. You are so damn strong and fighter and survivor. But now that perception changed. So this is what's happening to all of us. New perceptions, new parts of our soul, thank you for the stars, I do appreciate, are coming out of the blue so we can be reconfigured in a new way. In a new way, coming into new earth or 5-dimensional frequency. It comes with a degree of discomfort and struggle because we are actually morphing our vessel, our body, the way that we see ourselves, the way that we perceive the world, and then we are access also the quantum realm with new gifts, new ideas. The me from 8 years ago would ever believe that aliens would exist outside of Hollywood. And then when I started seeing them, I totally reject that concept. For me, it was no. I'm not going to meditate anymore because I was resistant to the idea that a consciousness outside of this planet would exist. And then it took me a while to accept that part of me. So every single team that's playing out, call it economy, government, partner issues, profession, spiritual beliefs, is playing out, drawing an aspect of us that is going to redesign our view from this world and then put us in another perspective that is going to be higher. We don't understand, and we certainly don't like all the things that are happening, of course, because we are not able to see yet the bigger picture. And we just have a shrink percentage of consciousness that we can access and then integrate it. Thank you all for the stars and your comments. I will read them later. I'm going to allow this download to come true. So my perception is going to come to the work that I'm doing, and so each of you. Perhaps our view from Atlantis is going to be different because we had a different experience with Atlantis. So any dimension is going to be a perception. New Earth, guys, and 5-dimensional living, it's right here in the capacity that I have to be at peace, even the world it's challenge me, challenge me. The capacity that I have to go within and to say stop for those triggers that in reality help us to perceive ourselves into a different reality. Like, for example, okay, I'm going to put an example about that. Some stuff, triggers, are going to meant to come just out of the blue so we can reconfigure our perception of ourselves. I think that was like 15 years ago. I was living in Houston, Texas, and we were outside of a bar. We were drunk. We were 3 people. We were just having fun, and it was 4 a.m. in the morning. And in that part of Houston, Texas, it was next to Gallerias. It was lots of apartment building, and also it was not a bad area. It was a nicer area, but with a lot of apartment buildings. But because it was 4 a.m., it was kind of empty. You were just us talking and talking and talking, and still drinking and still high for all the alcohol, and then very excited about all the adventures that we had that night. So it was a boyfriend I had, and then a friend. And then just suddenly in a second, a man come with a gun and then assault us. I didn't know. In those moments, you don't know how you're going to react. I froze myself, and I remember that my purse, I just said, I have nothing, just lipstick and my ID. And I put in my purse like in reverse so he would see I had nothing. Because my boyfriend was paying for me, I didn't have a need to have money or nothing. And then I was with my boyfriend's cards and everything. But my friend ran away. My boyfriend back then, he was with the gun in the face, but I was not scared because I instantly knew if I scream or get scared, I could die. I thought I could die. I totally thought that that man was going to shoot us because he saw our faces, right? So my friend ran. And then when she ran, she said, oh my God, I'm such an asshole because I just left them with a person with a gun. I'm going to go back to the assault. So she came back. So we give them the money we had, and then he ran away. And then we went into the apartment of my sister, and at that moment, it was where the fear come into my body, and then I realized I was really in front of a dead scenario. But in that moment that I was in danger, I react with peace and calm, trying to understand as an observer what was really the position that I should do. And I'm sharing this because now I realize I was in a lot of war scenarios before that I learned to not to freak out or panic, just to remain calm. This is something that I have. When people is always in anxiety or whatever, I'm the most calm people in the world because I shoot down all those emotions so I can use my psyche and then see what I need to do, right? But this is something that I didn't learn from this one. It's something that I learned in other lives, probably in many. Actually, my guide said this week that patience, to hold patience, you need to have at least 5 lives having that goal to be patient. They said it's so hard for humans to be patient that you need at least 5 lives to acknowledge it and then make it part of your personality. And that goes the same from alcoholism and drugs and things that are so hard to overcome, like for example abuse and all those distortions that we may experience in other lives. So we always have to look, guys, about where we are giving our power. This is something that I'm being reminded. We can be right now giving our power to the government issues, the economy, our partner, our family, our profession, or everything, including us. So the training process for all of us, thank you so much for your stars and your comments. I will read those later. It is learning to source peace and stability and balance beyond whatever could be happening around us, because what is happening around us is just a stage from the soul to have an experience. I hope that makes sense. And guides want us to evolve and to have this 5-dimensional structure, but I think they just lead us into the best of our own knowledge so we can be open. There is a lot of resistance right now to many things. Sometimes we like things to be differently, but we are lacking on procrastination, so we don't do nothing differently. We just want things to come out just by a spontaneous manifestation and then be fixed. And in this reality, things don't go like that, because things go into a consequence of the energy that we are singling. I hope this makes sense. Everything that happens to me, like for example, my ex, all my boyfriends, my family, and even you guys are a reflection of my consciousness. We are manifesting all of you so I can have an experience. I could not do light language and do codes if you guys would not like to the page and would resonate with me. I need all of you so I can have my experience. And you guys probably will need me because you guys would like to reflect exactly mirrors. And in the same formula, I will manifest country, government, neighbors, partners, friends. So what's happening right now is a lot of the programs that were so ingrained in us, like part of our personality, like for example, I am afraid to high in deep water. I freak out because probably in another life I died. I don't like Italy. I hate it. And it's probably because I was tortured in Italy before. So those programs are so ingrained within me. So I don't like it. I love pasta. It's my favorite food, and probably one day I need to travel to Italy so I make peace with myself and I heal that. But at the same time, I will be drawn to go to other places. Like for example, I would love to go to England, or I would love to go to Peru or to Hawaii or Egypt or even Asia. I'm very drawn to Asia. So everything that we are vibrating, even our desires and the things that we would like to have, they are all vibrating in this pool of quantum consciousness that we are all together as one. And all together, I'm speaking about all of you, but also all the other aspects that I have. Like for example, the aspects for me that live in Italy that didn't like it, that had a bad experience, or the aspects of me that live in Asia that had a good life. So probably that's why I will feel drawn to those experiences. Even starseed preferences. Some people will be so drawn to Arcturians or Orion, or probably elementals or fairy or elves or gigantic history, stuff like that. It is indeed because all of you, including me, had experiences experiences there that we're still sourcing information. And probably some of you cannot even believe what I believe, or you guys cannot believe what I believe, and it's fine. It's because just we are sourcing a different consciousness from the same pool that it will be sourced. Yes, exactly. What we're doing right now, what is so damn hard, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. It's very hard is because everything it is intertwined and then engaged with all different realities that sometimes it feels like moving. It feels like you want to settle, but you cannot settle because everything is changing. A year ago, we didn't know we were going to have a quarantine. It was not even in our thought. We may thought economy were going to crash, or politic, or we were going to have disclosure from aliens, but we didn't know we were going to have a virus. So all those things come to reinforce potentials for all of us. But at the same time, we are always, yes, rewriting history from things that happened in another timelines. How many times we had pandemic before in our own history? Many times. Perhaps this is going to be the last one. Perhaps it won't, because we need to, it's going to go away regardless it was created or not, or why it was created. We all manifested for different reasons, and the reason it is that we all were going to draw a better outcome for all of us as a collective. Like, for example, for me, thanks to COVID, I don't have to take my kids to school anymore, so I have 2 hours of my time for me to do other stuff. I spend less money on gas because I use this my car, and at the same time we have more time for ourselves, and then it benefits my economy. So for me, it was kind of like a good thing that we had pandemic and then don't have to go to school. But we are all different. We all have different perceptions about the same thing. The struggle comes because we don't want to let go of the things that we had before and we did before. And our consciousness, while it's being reconfigured, the struggle comes because it's not only about the psyche, it's about the physical too. And is where the struggle comes. Like, for example, probably, okay, I know someone that it hated pandemic because she didn't know what to do with her kids at home. And then it was the only time she was having time for herself when her kids were at school. But now that she has her 4 kids in home all day, she hated it. So we all have different perceptions about the same issue, and that applies for government, economy, even things that we don't like, such as I don't want to name it, but many distortions. We all have different perceptions about the good and the bad. But beyond what I may think it's happening, and all of you, yes, think it's happening, because I don't think even guides know exactly how this is going to evolve, because we're still making our choices. In the morning, I want to do this because I have been writing a lot. I just started writing about Kundalini and sacred sexuality because I think it's a lacking issue for many of us. And at the same time, when we add the factor of pleasure and blissful and happiness, think goes into a smoother way. And I'm talking not only about sexual practices within yourself. I'm talking about enjoying your food, enjoying your yoga, enjoying your walking, hugging a tree, enjoying meditation, all those things. So it is something that I am doing for myself. And at the same time, I would like to put it in some programs so I can share with all of you. But I already downloaded Foundations of Peace with the Angels. And why I'm doing angels? I started doing angels, but I felt within myself when my dog transitioned it was so hard to see him leaving, but before he left, I had to be his nurse. It was like my baby, but every time I had to put needles on him or I saw him suffering, I felt like a part of me was being stuffed in my energy, and I felt that connection with all the other timelines where I lose a child, unborn babies or kids. I connected, so it was huge, but I think I needed to go through that because probably by me healing that aspect, I will stop my daughter from having a miscarriage or losing a child. Does that make sense? So we don't understand exactly why bad things happen to us, but certainly at the bigger picture had a reason. Like for example, when my car get broke, it was very expensive to fix, and then I say, damn, why I manifested this, because sometimes we go and blame ourselves. I don't understand. I'm doing everything, I'm following, I'm doing the abundance course, what's going on? And then my guide said, look, Gretel, the mechanic who's going to fix your car needed money because something that is going to happening to his family, so you are the ones who volunteered to share that abundance you have so he could make it through. And then I say, oh my God, then it's good, I'm gonna let go. So we don't understand at the bigger picture how important it is, the job that we're doing. And I'm not only talking about sending healing to Gaia, I'm talking about how we behave at daily days lives. Probably we don't understand that the change that we're doing with our kids, serving more conscious, with our neighbors, with our families, within our own communities. And this is another aspect that I wanted to talk. One thing that is coming for myself, and I'm seeing a lot in sessions, I'm having a lot of people that feels lonely and sad. I don't feel lonely and sad. I had depression before, but it's not what I have. But I haven't seen that because many of you guys are in winter, or because they are still having very restricted conditions because of COVID. A lot of people feel like they would like to have more interaction at the human field, but they cannot. I hope that makes sense. So after COVID ends, that I think is going to be next year, I think is going to be a big, intense desire for all of us to, thank you, to build a strong community. And this is going to be a good thing that I think COVID is going to leave for all of us. And by community, I'm talking about creating groups so we can support each other, practicing healing and cards and all the things that we like to do, finding people, because there are a lot of people waking up right now, like massively. They're going to need support, and we're the ones that are being prepared. But I don't think it's going to be only online. I think the next step is going to be create those group of supports, whatever we are, so we can build a strong foundation in the life, in 3D life. I hope that makes sense. I think the first stage of the awakening, it was waking up to the fact that we're all God. And then we do shadow work, and then we activate our gifts, and then we ask ourselves, who am I? What is my soul mission? And all those things. But then the next stage is sharing all the lessons that we are learning with other humans so they can wake up too and they can have a different reality. So I think the next step after this next year is going to be building community for all of us. I hope that makes sense. Like for example, I love to be in home. I love it. But I like my kids to have certain activities where they can connect with other kids because they are teenagers. And then I said, it's good that they're not in home and school, but at the same time they're not having interaction with other kids, only online. So there is that desire so they can have all the connections that I did when I was a teenager. I mean, we used to go on bikes. Sometimes you will flirt. You will do baseball games, a lot of things. And I think that is going to happen for humans. Other things that is coming a lot, it is twin flames activations. And I'm going to talk briefly about this because I haven't downloaded exactly, but I'm already seeing how it started, and guys are explaining me little by little exactly how it works. But twin flame, I'm gonna try to say it briefly because I saw a question before. Twin flame, it's coming because love is going to be what will help us to anchor the light stronger, and at the same time to be happy and willing and open to embrace love within and then with other humans. And at the same time, I think a lot of babies is going to be born and a lot of couples are going to fall in love. So I'm seeing this as part of the next step that is going to help all of us to shift into new earth, or at least transition. Thank you so much. It is like, I think after Vietnam, and then it was the baby boomer, I think it's called. I'm not sure exactly about the spelling. I think having that romance and love frequency being active is going to assist all of us to give a fuck a little bit about the things we cannot change. Sorry about my word. I didn't know how to express it in a different way. Not to care about those things we cannot fix, and then have a more positive feeling to go with the flow and then to fix it. Because when you are happy, and I'm not talking only about sourcing love from someone else, I'm talking love about, and certainly love will start from me, and then couple is going to be the reflection of whatever I'm going through. But I am priority, and a couple is not going to come to fix you, or because you need it, because you feel alone, or because you want to have something. A couple is going to come because you just want to walk together and then grow at the same speed and frequency, and just as partners and friends, just because it's more enjoyable to go to a party and dance with someone else than to dance alone. I hope that makes sense, because there is a lot of distortions about the twin flame. You can either have a soulmate or a twin flame, and you can have a beautiful, lovable, sweet, passionate relationship. It does not have to be a twin flame. And in fact, you can have a couple, and then you can have a twin flame and the spirit realm. So there are a lot of different patterns about twin flames that I'm seeing. I'm also seeing groups of twin flames coming together. This is something new, because there is a lot of star seeds coming from other dimensions where they are collectives. So twin flame is not only going to come male, female, but it's going to come in different combinations where the divine feminine and the divine masculine support each other to create source through that love field that they are being emanated together. I hope that makes sense. Let me drink and see if I can answer questions before I channel the guides. So twin flame, it's like a big, massive reorganization. And why this twin flame program it's being active? Yes, look, that is an excellent question. Look, twin flame is just a type of connection, but we're all soul family. And in fact, if one soul family and you have like a twin flame relationship, and then some of that couple change in frequency, that person does not match you anymore, is going to be replaced with another soul family, and then another twin flame contract is going to be rearranged. Not everyone like to have a twin flame contract because it's too intense in many aspects. But we're all soulmates, or we're all twins, whatever you want to call it. The flame thing is that sexual attraction, love, that you cannot be separated, that you are so drawn to each other that you just want to feel like one with that person. I hope that makes sense. So according to what I understand, because I don't know everything and I keep learning, the twin flame relationship is just a type of connection, a connection that is based on love, not on karma, and that is going to be activated through the soul, inviting the body to be part of it. So it's going to have different elements such as Kundalini and the heart chakra and the love, but at the same time, it's a soul family of yours that the connection is going to be so ingrained within each other that you can see different guides, different versions of the same soul. Some people, for example, said, my twin flame, it is a blue bean from Sirius. Yes, because you just had access that version of that man, because that man, will be a female, will be an alien, will be a fairy, will be a human. So if you only connect with the alien fragments, it's because there is no agreement with the human yet. Some people have the twin flame connection only in 5D. And what I was told with my guys, it was that twin flame program, it was created so humans would have the willingness to work in pairs. And then you are going to merge and then become one, and then you will select another pair, and then another pair, and then another pair, and then we become a collective. Yes, that's an excellent question, actually. So what will be the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate relationship? The difference it is that you can read each other's thoughts. You can feel everything the other is feeling. You can even taste the fruit the other is having at breakfast. You can know if the other is afraid, sad, in problem, and your energy can tap as a guide and provide support, protection, and in the other way. You will travel together and have goals from the other soul that you will be working through. So there are agreements within the guides, there are agreements within the higher self, and then every time you connect with that twin flame, you activate a currency within yourself that you activate your DNA, your light body. I'm going to try to explain it this way. Yes, Amber. That's a common thing. I heard twin flames are not to be together. Not really, because we are all different. We have different needs. Perhaps one is not meant to be together, but I know many twin flames that they are together and they live together and they work together. And it's a beautiful thing. When you see those couples that they are twin flame, you can recognize it because their aura is so equal. They even look alike, like if they are brothers or cousins. They sometimes will have matching birth dates. It could be 3 months before or after. It could be names alike. I have seen Alejandro and Alejandra being together. It could be two female, it could be two male, it could be an African American, and it could be a Nordic person, but they somehow will look alike. And talking with one, it feels like talking with the other because it's the auras, Gretchen, are connected all the time. You root within each other from your aura. So let's say that if my energy will be money, let's say that I have $500,000 and then he will have another $500,000 as humans. So because we connect now, I have $1,000,000 because his energy is with me all the time, and then my energy is going to support. That is the primordial, I don't know how to say that in English, rule about a twin flame connection: to provide support. It's not to make love to you, it's not to be your husband or your boyfriend or anything. It's to support you at the energy level. And then sometimes it's meant to be together, sometimes it's not meant to be together. Sometimes you are not ready at the human level to have that connection. You are not ready. I'm not saying to you, I'm talking in general. I have seen couples that they are twins and they know each other, but they just connect at 5D, because if they will be connected to the human level, it would be a disaster because they are not ready for that part yet. So probably that is going to be in another life. I have seen twin flames that they have married with other couples and they just connect at the soul level. Sometimes a twin flame, it's part of your guides, and people primordial. I know how it's, I couldn't say it. Sometimes the twin flame, it's a guide that is coming through and support you with the energy. So it's not meant to be in the physical, but it's meant to be at the energy level. But it's going to be in love frequency that is not always sensual. In fact, it could be, but it's so beautiful, that connection, and sweet and intense. Yes. Yes, that's true. Actually, for what I have seen in my experience, we are in the process of gradually having the capacity of live together and be together. But I think we are gradually moving into that. So from all the couples that I have been working on it around the twin flame drawings that I'm doing, because I have persons that want to get connection with a twin flame. I have persons that they are already together, but they would like to go deeper into their connection or rearrange contract or change partner or whatever. I would say like 30 or 40% they get together at least for a certain period. I think that 30% they do live together, and those are the most beautiful, amazing couples that I have seen. The last drawing that I did for a couple that they have 25 years together, they even had the Facebook name blended with both. Like for example, let's say that he was James and she was Daisy, so it was just like Jade, something like that, because it was like the same. It was beautiful. I mean, he was speaking and then she was replying, completing what he was saying. So it is possible to have an open, honest, loyal connection. I have seen it, and I think we are in the process. I think what will be key on having a relationship, because this is part of what is going to be the twin flame course that I'm still downloaded. I think it's primordial. I'm gonna have to practice that, to love yourself first and know yourself, and then be completely healed, and then just open to share that experience if you would like to have it. Not because that person is going to come to give you what you are lacking, but because what I lack, it's my responsibility to source it for myself. That person is going to be just someone that is going to be just more fun. That's it. But whatever I need for myself is my own responsibility, and anyone else is going to be, it should be free from any responsibility to make us happy. Neither kids or mothers or husbands or anything. So I think where the problem has is not if it's twin flame or not, is our relationships. I think the relationships has been broken from my relationship with my body, my relationship with the way that I see myself, with my gifts, with my family, with my profession, and at the same time with the couple whom I will have connection, because a couple, it's like a t-shirt of life we all have. You share so much space with someone that of course is going to have a degree that you will feel challenged, but it does not mean it cannot be rectified in the moment if both parts are willing to be open and honest in such a way that you allow someone else to come into your life, knowing that it will be the possibility to get hurt, but still being willing to give it a try. So I think this is where we are, I'm gonna say we because I'm talking in general, lacking a little bit. Sometimes we're not willing to try and to get responsibility for whatever we are manifesting in our relationships. Let me see if I have any other question. I hope that was clear. But those courses are going to come next year. I think the first one is going to be about ecstasy and about tantric practices and sacred wound. And then the next part is going to come with a relationship, call it twin flame or soulmate, or even yourself, that you would like to share that energy that you now know how to have in alignment. What I'm going to start the 11/11, and with that I'm going to close this year. It is a short and small course about how to be at peace, because what I'm seeing at the energy level, I think the year is going to close a little bit dark because of the election and because many of things that are happening. And we need to have the capacity to keep the ground and keep the stability and keep the balance beyond whatever is going through in the collective. We don't know yet exactly how the collective is going to evolve, but at the same time, my happiness, my peace, my growth is not dependent on anyone else. It's only dependent on the capacity that I have to source peace, even in front of any challenge. Like when I was saying that I was being assaulted in front of a gun, that's of course an extreme. But perhaps I can still be challenged when I drive in and then the car in front of me did not pull the signal light, and I said, what are not following driving rules and stuff like that. So we will all have triggers that in 3 seconds push peace away from us. And I think this is the learning field we are all on. Let me see if I can read that. What about someone doesn't have a twin soul? As I said before, twin soul is just a connection. The type of contract you will say with someone. It's perfectly valid not to have that. You can of course activate it if you feel the desire, but a lot of people don't want to, don't feel drawn to. Imagine for a sensitive soul having the capacity to balance all the energies and then at the same time keeping harmony with the energies of someone else being connected to you 24/7. That is intense for certain people. So not everyone decides to have that connection, and it's valid. I have seen couples that they are soulmates, they don't have that twin flame connection, and they're happy, they love each other, they support each other. So nothing, it's a rule. Everything changes accordingly to what we need at the moment. Perhaps that twin flame connection can change. Perhaps it's going to disappear next year, or perhaps we all will have it. We don't know yet. It depends on what we are still writing in the now, I think. So it's perfectly okay not to have it. Actually, I believe I am beyond twin flame because I wake up to meet me, to discover who I am, my light language, all my gifts, all the things I do. I am my own twin flame. My twin flame is going to be just a soulmate who volunteers to be the mirror of that light I'm signaling. But I can mirror myself in all of you in the sessions. In fact, I do. In my mom, in my kids, in my ex. I still mirror myself in my ex. Sometimes I say, oh my God, Greta, what were you thinking? Or in a boyfriend that I could have. I hope that makes sense. We all mirror each other in everyone else and in everything else. That's why sometimes triggers are so intense, because we don't want to see that thing in ourselves. For example, if I can be next to alcoholics, perhaps it's because my ex was an alcoholic. So now I will say, no, I don't want to go there because everyone will be drinking. So that will be perfectly a trigger for me, but it's because I already had an experience with alcoholism and it was not for the highest good. So every time I will be in connection with drinking persons, I'll be reminded of what happened to me before, and I will say, hell no, I don't like that. So probably I will be selective on the persons that I do. So that mirror about people that maybe in alcoholism will reflect something that I had, and that at the same time will initiate me from setting boundaries so I don't have that anymore. I hope that makes sense. mm, Look, it not necessarily has to be a twin flame. Every time you will have a blissful connection experience during a meditation or with someone else. That happens because your chemistry and the chemistry of whatever is connecting to you, it's matching pleasure or blissful frequencies. 5, the energy is orgasmic. It feels like, oh my God, this is so good. And it's not necessarily because you're having sex. Sometimes I think we confuse a little bit, because that orgasmic energy, it's different than from having an orgasm because you're making love. It's just because it's so beautiful and sweet and gentle that the closest thing we know is an orgasm. So we attach that into an orgasm, but not necessarily. Some people is going to come. Exactly. You can have that with yourself, with aspects of you that are higher, if you practice yoni or things like that, or your own kundalini. You can activate it in through your own womb and then have your own pleasurable organic experience into the light, and you don't need actually anyone else to come and activate it for you. It's the choice. Some people would like to have it with someone else, some people would like to have it in their own, and both options are valid. But 5D frequency, it is orgasmic indeed. I was channeling Pleiadians. That was few months ago, and they were saying to me that they don't make love anymore because they don't need to. They are in love frequency all the time. They said when you move into 5D frequency, making love is not going to be required because you will be having an orgasm 24/7. Of course, it's going to be different. But imagine having an orgasm for 2 hours or for a day. It will be hell no. That's a lot, right? So that's why we struggle with the energy, and we can have a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and then gradually we'll be having the capacity to hold more light and to source more light. But for that, we need to release density. So this is at least what I have seen. What I have seen from Pleiadians, my 5 dimensional Pleiadian version, one of them, because I have many. My twin flame and I are together. So we are merged all the time, and then we use it to be more stronger and more powerful. And then all the experience he's having, he shares with me, and so I do too. So we have a more expanded consciousness. But when I was seeing that making love thing, it's very far away from the version that we have here. There is no need to have intercourse. It's more like connection from the heart. It's more like meditative state that you will go within, and then you will feel that source of love that is being emanated from the heart. Actually, it does not have to do anything with kundalini or with your sacral chakra or with nothing. It's totally within the heart, and then you can support each other. So I think what my twin and I have is we have the same thing, but including with the human connection, and at the same time I'm connected with all the versions of him. So I can see the gigantic one, and then the alien one, and then the humans one. So I know that that being is not just one human, it's a multidimensional being, and so am I. So we are connected to all versions of us. That's why it's so intense. And that will be the difference between a soulmate and a twin flame. That degree of connection, it's way, way more deep. And that's why I think I was confused about my other half. It's not the other half because I'm complete and he is complete. It's just because you are so ingrained into each other that you start to become one, and then you will see the other coming through and changing about things. Sometimes I will have behaviors that I think come from him, because it's not part of my personality, but I think we support each other, and it was the agreement that we had at the same time, so I could do all the drawings that I do, and I can support each other. It's the agreement that I have with a twin flame collective, and at the same time we heal all the versions of us every time we connect. What is the elixir of life? I'm not sure what you're talking about, because there is a lot of things that are the same thing, but they have different names. So if you can elaborate a little bit more about the elixir of life and 3D reality, perhaps I can expand. But I really don't know what you're talking about. Are twins from the same systems? They can be from different planets. Gretchen, that's a good question. Actually, when I was born, he was already born. And I have had other partners, because sometimes I see myself. Last week I saw myself with another man, and then I said, I don't know that man. In this life, I had a life with him in a parallel reality, but in this one he's not alive. And then I said, so I could have other twins. It's not just one, because as I said before, we're all soulmates. But that twin flame connection in this life, I sign it from the one that I have now. That gives total health and protection. Forgive me, but I'm not familiar with that. I think what gives you total health and protection is love. It's the only thing that I understand that will give you total health and protection. Feel my twin is from Sirius. Look, but you have hundreds versions of you, and so does him. So you are only connected with the Sirius version, but he will have an Orion, Lyran, human, fairy, etc., etc. Hope that makes sense. I cannot be your twin flame because we are not connected at the soul level. And this is another thing. There are people that think they have twin flame connections with Prince or Michael Jackson, or the one actor that died from Fast and Furious. that guy has like a clue from women that claim they are his twin flame. I don't think that would not resonate with me in my world. Look, your twin flame, you have to have something that will match and that you will resonate. Probably I will project myself and think that Michael Jackson is going to be my twin flame, or Brad Pitt, or whoever I would like to have. Perhaps the twin flame that I see may look like Brad Pitt. It may not be Brad Pitt. It may be from the same oversaw, who knows? But there are a lot of different things that happen at the energy level that look like one thing but may not be. Like, for example, I'm going to put another example. Ghost may not be ghosts at all. Maybe people that is sleeping in the other side of the world and they are having out of body experience that may look ghosty like. I hope that makes sense. So it's hard for us to understand everything because I don't think we have our consciousness expanded in such a way that we can understand everything that is going on. The best thing that I do, this is my perception, but always follow your own intuition. When I don't know what to do, I don't know nothing. I step back, I sit with myself, and I wait for the universe to show me what I need to do, but I shift from the connection where I don't know what is happening. That's why I did the abundance course, because in the abundance course what we are learning is to be aware, to pay attention, to know what's going on so you can adjust and shift it. Perhaps you would like to do something, but you need to wait for the collective to support you, because as I said before, I would be nothing. I mean, not nothing, but I would not be light worker if I would not have all of you. So I need you guys to be in the scenario where I can be a light worker. And I would need a family and kids, and then a city, and then a government, and then a health system, and then a economy system. So Gaia and the collective will provide all the things for me to source an experience. And then when I like to change another experience, I will shift into a timeline where I no longer need to have a twin flame, perhaps, or I no longer need to be doing what I do. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to do a little bit of light language for whatever I would like to receive a transmission, and then I'm going to close. For the ones I would like to receive this transmission, you can close your eyes or just be as still as much as possible. And give the command to your higher self to assist you and your guides. I have the blue ray beams coming through, so I'm going to allow them to come. Kira ase leki iti esh na ase ko ni ti ima ne es akate ish eki na. And then I have Archangel Michael too. I la ki ese ki ini iti eshna. Ni ese ko iti eshna ase koma eki na kira ate esikoma eki nate ishna. Zap this blue light if you would like to. It's bathing all of you from your crown, bringing a vibration that is going to be choose what you all need. I late esako ni iti ishna asekoi ma. Iniki iti eseko ni ti ishna. Allow yourself to go within and find that steady point where you can bring the light in. Ikiate esako ne kiara ashe esako iki neki iti esako ma ne na ki ishna. Eki iti esiko ki na iti esako iki ni. For anyone that is in need of healing, protection, clearing, or purification, or just being more courageous or brave, please accept this light being streamed from the heart center of Archangel Michael. Iki iti isiko nedaki iti ishna asiko iki iti isako ni ne iki ishta. Ne laki eki asako ini ti ishna. Allow yourselves to feed from the light and ascend to aid a pure connection to your own energy field through God, and to integrate it in your physical body and share it with others in a full merging of every fragment that was, is, and will be into a physical body, and actually being on the process of bringing more and more of this blue light from God's teachers, cosmic beings, and angels. And as you do, become far more lighter as you connect with God deeper and deeper and deeper. Allow wings to grow from your back and expand as you wrap yourself into the light. I ni iki asako ne te ish ki ni na. Perceive yourself as the light. Ini iki arate esekore iki ni ishna. Ni ti ni ki a. I came here with an army of beings of light to provide support for the ones I would like to give consent and will require my energy for support to have this strong protection, to be more courageous and more brave, to hold the light. Iki ini iti ishka is ko ma ni ki ikiate isikoina. Be here as pure light and allow yourself to expand your light. Allowing your light and your dark to be one with Source through your own connection. Ikiate kiasa kone ki ireki ni na ashta. Ni ti sekomane ki iriti isha asekoi ni iti ikiana. Thank you, my beloved childs. We are honored to assist today. Blessed be. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me this hour, perhaps a little bit more. Thank you all for the shares, your comments. I'm going to reply to those later. I have been working with Archangel Michael. Was the first being of light I saw when I did not even trust in God anymore, not even on myself. He is the one who pushed me to wake up and assist. And it has beautiful for me to reconnect with this angelic essence that is part of me during this course that I'm going to start. The 11:11, I'm going to do a channeling like this, but more channeling guides through me than me speaking. And I will invite you to be with me for 2 hours, an hour and a half or 2 hours. We're going to do some recalibration, so we'll make it the end of 2020, and then we can reward for 21. I'm going to accept donations, but it's going to be free. If you don't have to donate, that's perfectly fine. And then the ones that would like to join me on this course is going to have, it has 3 channelings and 8 meditations with the angels to work with healing in our chakras, and it has certain exercises that I channel that will lead us to practice to source peace in all the time. This course, I decided to do it more accessible because I understand that it's a strong time for many. So my idea is that I can lower my prices, that many people will, more people will benefit, but at the same time I will be doing more donation events or things like that, so I can keep having the page open because I support myself from the page. This course is going to be $44, the first level, and then the next level it is going to be $99. In the level 2, the first level is the 11 videos between channelings and guided meditations with the Archangelics. It was Samuel, Metatron, Michael, Zadkiel, Raphael. I do have the Angel of Peace, the Angel of Tranquility coming through. I didn't know that those angels exist. And then in the second level, I can create a unique channeling for yourself and then send it by mail, your own unique channeling, or have a session together. And that's gonna be for 11 days only, and then we're gonna close the year for... It's going to start the 11:11. Yes, the first channeling, that is I'm gonna add that later into... I'm going to do it open in the page for everyone else, as I always do. I will receive donations, but if you cannot donate, you can still participate on the event. You can probably assist me sharing my content, putting a comment, putting a review, things like that. That is part of receiving a donation, but it's part of the exchange. Jofiel, I add Jofiel too. Yes, I think I add the 7 ones. And for the next year, I have a different project. For the next year, I will have a program that is going to last the whole year. That is going to be Pleiadians, teachings from Pleiadians, my guides. And every month we're going to have like a mini course and then work on something. But that is going to last for the whole year, and is going to help, I think, all of us to have a strong foundation. That is going to have, my idea is that it can be like a membership, so it can be more affordable, and then I can benefit more persons. My idea is to go into more accessible, so I can have an income, but at the same time I can provide support to others. So this is what I'm planning for next year. I'm going to have like a membership, and it's going to be a year. It's going to be a very affordable, and then I'm going to have a library of videos, and then every month, yes, Yes, Mary. I'm going to have a library of videos, like 50 videos, and then at the same time every month I'm going to add few more videos, and then we're going to go into team for a year, and then that can be monthly or it can be paid at the beginning. We're going to start, I think the first month is going to be new beginnings. I'm gonna share that action plan for next year around December, because I'm still downloaded, and I don't know if I'm going to add a twin flame, the kundalini, and all those things that I'm still downloaded in that, or it's gonna be separate. But in that membership, I would like to add, because many have been asking me that they would like to learn how to do healing sessions with light language. So I'm going to add that in that membership for sure, because my idea is that what I'm learning for myself, I can record it in a type of video or recording so I can share it, and then each of you guys can just listen to whatever and then create your own journey, your own chemistry, your own way, so you can ascend and move on. That's yes, and with that I'm going to close. But the 11/11, I'm going to start. I already put the event. I'm gonna put it in the comment, but I already put the event. It's going to be like an hour or two with angels, and it's going to be all about peace. Gracias. Thank you all of you for being with me. I hope you all have a beautiful and awesome weekend. And then the next weekend we're gonna have in our group, the ones that are here that are in the abundance course with me, we're going to have a channeling so we can close the course. It has been intensively amazed for myself. A lot of change, a lot of work. I'm so proud of all of us. We have been working a lot, and I'm sure all the work that we have been doing is going to pay off and germinate into beautiful, amazing things for all of us for this year and the next one. Yes, Lana, you can ask who your guardian angel is. I can probably do that the 11/11. I decided to invite the angels because I think we all kind of need like a break from all the things that are happening in the angelic energy, so smooth and soft. So that's why I'm going to go with angels this time, because in order for us to close the year before Thanksgiving and all the things that happens when it is the closing of the year, I think we need to seed more peace and calm and tranquility so we can decide where we are going to go, what we are going to do, and all those things. So thank you all for being here with me the whole time. I will try to go later and see if I was any question that I meet that I can reply. Thank you all for your stars, your comments, your share. I so appreciate the support. Thank you. Stay blessed.